So when I was 7 years old, my mom took me to this Christian music concert, and I was just like, oh my gosh, enjoying the music, because I'd been learning about Jesus and about the parables. And then the music, like, I was so enjoying it. The music stops and this guy starts talking, and I'm like, okay. So are you gonna keep talking, or can we like get back to the music? And I'm not really listening that closely. And then he says, well, if anyone feels like they're led to accept Jesus as your Savior, come up to the front and we'll pray with you. And I'm like, and then I just felt like this tug. And I just like felt like something was in my chest pulling me forward. And I was just like, I have to go up there. And I like go to my mom, because I wouldn't say, I was like, Mom, can I go up there? And I was like, she's gonna say no and I'm gonna die. But she was like, go up there, yeah. So I went up there, and I'm a 7-year-old, and I'm like a goody two-shoes kid. I always try to do right. And I get, I kneel down at the altar, and all of a sudden I felt like the most despicable, horrible creature that like ever slithered on the earth. And I just started bawling. I was just weeping. like ugly crying, like it's like horrible. And I'm like, I can't breathe. And somebody finally comes over, and they're kind of like, and they're like, do you want me to pray with you to accept Jesus? And I was like, yeah, okay. I was like, is that going to help something, anything? And so they said the sinner's prayer with me, and I said it with them, and then just this weight just lifted off of me that I didn't even know was there. So for me, Jesus being my foundation, it changes the way that I see things. So what God has shown me through years of just seeing what happened and through studying the Word is that whatever things we're chasing as we're just searching for, whether it's popularity or money, for security, for, likes, follows, whatever, that really, truly, at the end of the day, what we're really looking for is peace, joy, and contentment. And Satan will convince us that we can get peace, joy, and contentment from those things, from our circumstances. But there are a couple of problems with that. The first one is that you never have enough. There's more, the other problem with that is that those things are not reliable. Circumstances change, people let you down. Jesus was a lot more honest. In John 16:33, Jesus says, I've told you these things that you may find your peace in me. In this world, you will have trouble. So it's a great promise. He promised that we'll have trouble, and that happened to us. My husband and I, we're married for a couple months, and I was finally on track to making something of myself. I had my free education. I was second semester of college, and then I was so sick. And I found out that it was because I was going to have a baby. So we had a choice to make. Either we give up our dreams, which both of us wanted to, not have kids and become somebody and have security and have wealth, or we had this baby. But we believed in another promise. We believed in Romans 8:28. That says that, but we know all things work together for good. And everybody knows that promise, but that's not all it says. All things work together for good for those who love the Lord and are called according to His purpose. And Jesus said, if you love me, you will follow my commands. And His commands don't include murder. So we really did not have a choice. And so we had a baby girl. Psalm 34:7 says that if we will delight ourselves in the Lord, He will give us the desires of our heart. And He is able to do that because He knows the desires of our heart better than we do. John 10:10 says, is one of my absolute favorite verses. Jesus says, the thief, Satan, comes only to steal and to kill and to destroy. but I am come that they might have life and have it more abundantly. So not only did Jesus come to give me, to save me from hell, from eternity of hell, but he even goes further and says, look, I'm going to give you a more abundant life. And that is exactly what my life has shown me. As I have lived my life, I have seen over and over and over again that as I follow him, he does give me that more abundant life. See, Satan would have had me waste my whole life sitting in front of a television set, pretending to have the family, the happy family that he stole from me when he convinced my mom that the solution to her problems was in drugs. But God intended to give me the best thing about Jesus being the foundation of my life, is that reassurance that, hey, trouble's going to happen. Bad things are going to happen. But I know that even whenever I'm going through a bad thing, God's going to give me something good out of it. He's going to work it for my good. So when Jesus became the foundation of my life, he utterly, completely changed the path that my life was going to take. I was born to a 16-year-old runaway who had been badly abused and who had already started taking drugs whenever she had me. As I grew, so did her drug use. Our family also grew. She had 3 more little girls, and it became my responsibility to take care of them. So I started to just have this despair settle on me. Just suddenly, like I felt like I realized, like, I'm never going to be anything. I'm not going to be a newscaster. I'm not going to finish school. My people don't finish school. My people have babies that are miserable, that have different fathers. My babies live in misery. I mean, so I just kind of started to give up. When I was 16 years old, I was delivered out of that home. Well, what had happened actually was that because of all the reading I did, I read everything. I read like the classics, have to look up every other word. I read my mom's grown-up books whenever I was just a kid. Just like anything I get my hands on, you read that much and you read that far above your reading level, it gives you like mad writing and reading and spelling skills. And when you take a standardized test and you have those mad skills, you look like a genius. I'm actually very average. Yeah, just totally average intelligence. But I didn't know that. I thought I was a genius. 16 years old, I got delivered out of there, and I met like the absolutely most gorgeous boy that I've ever seen in my life. And he liked me too, and he was a really nice guy from a nice family. We dated for 3 years, got married. There was a reason why I loved those happy family shows, because I wanted that happy family. And I'd been robbed of that. And God knew that. And he wanted to give me what I had been robbed of. And my heart breaks for my mom, because he was ready to give her that same thing. But she bought into the lie. She bought into Satan's solution. And he was able to rob her of that. So I just thank God that he delivered me, and I don't have an ending, so.